Hello everybody and welcome to Thursday's edition of the Chris Pritchard Cycling News Show. And since it's Thursday, let's have a little bit of a throwback to still one of my my finest moments as an interviewer at last year's Tour de France.
They're here! So here we go. I'm going to try and get an interview. Not even looking. I'm going to try and get an interview with some of the riders as they are coming past. This is the break. I know Vincenzo Nibali's in it, so we'll try and get a word with him as he comes past, if we can. I'm very unsure as to whether they'll be willing to speak. Yeah, Vincenzo, just a quick word. Vincenzo, how are you feeling? Go on. No. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Good times. Anyway, coming up in today's show, we're going to be taking a look at everything that happened in Stage 6 of the Tour de France today, as well as previewing Stage 7 for tomorrow. But first, let's take a quick look at what else is happening in the world of professional cycling. And as of recording this, Tom Pidcock still leads the Baby Giro. He still has 58 seconds over second place Kevin Colleoni. Stage 5 came down to a bunch sprint where Jonathan Milan took victory ahead of Jordi Mews from Seg Racing and Jake Stewart having a cracking result there in third place. Jake Stewart, who's going to be progressing to the Groupama FDJ World Tour team next year. Yesterday saw the final stage of the Tour of Hungary take place. Hungarian Attila Valter ended up taking that for CCC. Quinn Simmons, cracking result there in second place, and Damon Howson took third place. And if you're still unsure who Attila Valter is, this is him here. And if you don't know him from that, you probably know him from this.
So this guy right here, right? He was either the under 23s or the junior time trial at the World Championships, and he had a massive crash.
Bloody love a good old vlog, I do. And currently, as of recording, we're on stage 3 of Coppi El Bartoli, where Andrea Baggioli currently leads the general classification ahead of Narvaez and Almeida. And that's pretty much all that's happening in the minute. So, without further ado, let's get on and take a look at what happened today on stage 6 at Tour de France. With the profile of today's stage, it was begging out for a breakaway to go. And what a powerful breakaway it was. The peloton were quite reluctant to let this one go. Eventually, it did end up going. Unsurprisingly, Thomas de Gendt tried to get in it, but the peloton were having none of that. They managed to pull him back. But even without him, this was a strong breakaway of 8 riders, including Remy Cavagna, Greg Van Avermaet, Nico Roach, Nilsen Paulus, Daniel Oss, Edvald Boasson-Hagen, Alexei Lutsenko and Jesus Herrada, all more than capable of keeping this breakaway away for the day if they worked together. The breakaway's lead peaked at around 6 minutes 40, and it was the job of the team of Adam Yates, the yellow jersey, to make sure that that gap didn't get any bigger, and they spent the majority of the day on the front, keeping that break in check. With 65 kilometres to go, the intermediate sprint was contested by Edvald Boasson-Hagen and Daniel Oss, with Boasson-Hagen proving his superior sprinting power by taking maximum points. And then for some random reason, on the way to that intermediate sprint, Roger Kluge, he just decided to attack the peloton and just left them for dead for a couple of minutes. And back in the main peloton, the green jersey wearer Sam Bennett made sure he picked up as many points as he could, and also got one of his teammates in between the rest of the sprinters to really bolster his lead in the green jersey competition. With 22.9 kilometres to go, the break was down to 6 riders, with Remy Cavagna, Greg Van Avermaet, Jesus Herrada, Nico Roach, Paulus and Lutsenko still there in that front group with a lead of 2 minutes and 49 seconds. And then a K later, this is where all the attacking started. Paulus tried to split the breakaway up, dropping Herrada, Remy Cavagna, and then not for the first time today, Jesus Herrada managed to just peg that breakaway back. And then back in the peloton with 20.4 kilometres to go, Fabio Aru made a move up the road. Unsure whether this was to try and set something up for Pogačar, but highly unlikely. All the main GC riders had their lieutenants and domestiques around them, so it was, again, similar to Kluge's earlier in the day, bit of a strange move if you ask me. Then it was the turn of Alexei Lutsenko and Nilsen Paulus to make the move, and this one was going to be the one that would shed everybody out of that break, leaving eventually Lutsenko all on his own. Paulus would be heading backwards, Jesus Horada would just keep his pace, maintain his speed, eventually catch Powerless, and go on to take second behind stage 6 winner Alexei Lutsenko. So in terms of that GC race, Mitchelton Scott will be very happy with how this day panned out. There was no attacks out of the main peloton. All the riders kept it safe. Ineos Grenadiers put their riders on the front towards the last few climbs, and they just paced it to perfection. Allowing Mitchelton Scott to not have to actually do a great deal towards the end of that race, making sure that Adam Yates stayed in yellow for another day. So we talked about it yesterday in the show, whether it was going to be a breakaway victory today or the GC contenders were going to be fighting for that win. Turns out it was a solo victory for Lutsenko, and what a great ride. He did everything perfect, made sure that break maintained its gap, and when he was ready to go, he went and he ended up riding off solo, taking the victory. And in terms of that GC race, not a great deal happened, to be honest. Mitchelton Scott did a great job of just controlling that breakaway, making sure that they didn't get too far up the road. And then towards the end, where the climb started, Ineos Grenadiers got on the front and they just maintained what Mitchelton Scott had already done. Made sure the pace was high enough that no one was going to go out there and attack, but don't make it so hard that it just ripped it all apart. It was very, very conservative from the peloton today, meaning that essentially nothing changes in that GC race. Let's take a look at it now. And after 6 stages of the Tour de France, you can see that Adam Yates is still in the lead for Mitchelton Scott. The only real change there is that 1 second given to Julien Alaphilippe over the line. A couple of minor changes in placings, but no changes in that time difference. Adam Yates still leads the Tour de France by 3 seconds ahead of Primož Roglič, 7 seconds ahead of Tadej Pogačar. Now, if we look towards stage 7, as you can see from the profile here, it's going to be one for the sprinters. You can't help thinking that there is going to be no breakaway getting away on this one, especially when De Koning Quickstep want to try and take a stranglehold of that green jersey now. A couple of 3-cat climbs, a 4th cat climb coming at 97.5 kilometers, but from then onwards, it's pretty much all downhill towards the finish. And as you can see there, the last 5 kilometers, it really is going to be one for the sprinters, and a pan-flat finish from that final kilometre. But the question of the day, obviously, is who is going to take victory in tomorrow's stage? Leave your predictions down below. Is it going to be Sam Bennett? Is he going to get his first ever Tour de France victory while holding on to that green jersey at the same time? Is Caleb Ewan going to do what he did on stage 3? Or what about Wout van Aert? He's had a relatively easy day looking after his GC contender in Primož Roglič. Are they going to give him a bit of free rein tomorrow to get involved in that sprint? Or is it too flat and it's going to be too fast for the team to risk him in a sprint finish? I don't know. My prediction, I think Sam Bennett's going to do it. I think Sam Bennett is going to do it. Leave your predictions down below. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure if you've not done already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you've not enjoyed the video for whatever reason, hit that dislike button. Hit your notification bell if you want to know when we go live with these videos. Unclick your notification button if you don't want any spoilers prior to you watching the highlights on TV. Thanks for watching. See you again tomorrow.